everyone. This is Lisa Haven, and I've got a critical warning to share with you today, and that is the United Nations takeover of America and the world has begun. The starting of the New World Order kicked off at the United Nations, even before then, before September it kicked off, but it's been in the making for years. Even years ago, magazines like New York Times were publishing articles about the New World Order, and we're here. It's not coming. It is already here. They've already taken steps to go after our police, which I'm going to share with you some information on that in a moment, to take over our states, to take over our country. They are using toxins to dumb us down in America. We have chemtrails, we have fluoride in the water, we have GMOs. These kinds of things they're using to dumb us down, to get us ready to accept things like the New World Order, which they're attempting to do. The United Nations takeover has literally begun, and they are pushing things through like the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Now, if you're not aware of that, I've done a few posts on the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and the whole thing, it's a document that the government is attempting to push through, and they have pushed through not necessarily sections of it, but precursors that could lead to it. And they're really igniting this thing because the TPP, what it is in a nutshell, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, it is a takeover globally, like world laws, world system. That is what the TPP is. And to put it in a nutshell, it's a freedom stealing thing that will put copyright infringements and all kinds of regulations and laws on videos such as this one on the computer. And what does any of that have to do with trading? Not a darn thing. They're slipping this stuff in on a Trans-Pacific Partnership deal, which is supposed to be, about trading and all of that, but yet they've got copyright issues. This is the kinds of things that they are doing. And what this one in particular will do, for example, if you have download a song, an MP3 play, and say it's got some you didn't realize, but now you can do that, but you might have a copyright infringement and you can have jail time for that. Or if you're a doctor, you can copyright this particular practice. No one else can do it, meaning, hey, forget that life. You have to go all the way to Timbuktu to get the surgery because he's the only doctor who does it. That makes no kind of sense. And not to mention stipulations it will put on videos such as mine. This is a massive global internet grab to silence people from the truth that's coming out. I've read numerous, if not hundreds, of governmental documents, and I see the overall picture, the overall takeover and how it's begun. Not to mention the Strong Cities network that I talked about just a few days ago, which initiates the policing of cities here in America globally. Not just, it's like a New World Order police force or some kind of UN police force here in America. That's what it is. And New York City was in on it, Chicago, and I went through, I think it was Minneapolis and some other cities, but more are sure to join. And they're going to talk about it and expand on it more in the meeting in Paris in 2016. This is the globalization of our police. And here's the deal. They are trying to take away the rights from the states, rip them, and say, hey, let's federalize this. And then from federal, they're going global. But now with this Strong City network deal, they're attempting to skip the federal portion, just take it global. That's what's happening. They're saying, hey, let's share activity from what's happening in New York City to Paris, France, and be on this global network together till we become one world peacekeeping initiative. And that sounds a lot like what the United Nations is pushing and promoting. And that is global police. It's here. It's not coming. It's here. It's here. It's here. And there's no easy way to put that. And here's the other kicker, and I talk about this a lot because I think it's very imperative and very important. This is the mother of Jade Helm, Identity Operations for Strategic Land Power. This is mastering the human domain. This is where Jade Helm came from. And more things are going to come from this. What does this document do? It paints the enemy as within rather than without. In other words, countries aren't as bad as the enemy inside the country. In other words, they're going to start upping the ante on domestic extremism, so to speak. And according to numerous documents, the right-wing extremist document. They're going to start painting people, and Project Megiddo. If you have not read through Project Megiddo, please do. Both of these documents include Christian views as the enemy. Project Megiddo specifically paints Christians. The right-wing extremist says if you are basically anti-abortion, if you're a constitutionalist, if you believe the Constitution's now not outdated and it's very valid, if you believe in the New World Order, hello, they talk about the New World Order all the time. If you believe in end-time Bible prophecy, you could be a terrorist and you could be prone to have extreme violent breakouts. I would never do anything violent. I just don't. Do I share the news? Heck yeah, I do. I'm not going to keep quiet on these things. You can't. When you know the information, when you know what's going on, it's hard to just shut it and walk away. And I know I put my butt on the line sharing some of the things that I do, but I try to share the best picture that I can with you of what is going on. And my view of what I see on the horizon, what I see right now taking place, is basically your UN takeover or New World Order takeover. It's here. It's here. Not to mention the spies that they have. They already set up the spy network. They've been doing this for the past 15 years. They have the clergy response team, which are pastors. Unfortunately, I'm a Christian. That breaks my heart. But there are pastors out there who are signing a deal with the devil himself, signing with the government, saying, yeah, I'll help in the event of this catastrophe or that catastrophe, and we'll do safety meetings at our church where we're not allowed to talk about Jesus. I've read through these documents. If they have these government-run safety meetings, they can't bring up Jesus. They can pray for someone. They can't even talk about Jesus. If somebody wants to accept and have salvation in their heart, they have to do that after this meeting held at the church. It's a way to remove Christ. It's a way to remove, Christ from the churches. And it's also a way to sneak and gain intel on people who are going to not turn in their guns, people who are going to not go with the flow of the New World Order. That's painted as an enemy. If you believe in the New World Order, you're a target. InfraGard, that's another one. They have spies everywhere and watch things on camera. NASA, not to mention, they're the biggest rat. They are the government. And they're keeping everything from information on our cell phones to our computers, to our televisions now. Samsung even put a warning out saying, hey, watch what you say around your TV. Lots of things are happening. And the globalization has begun. You know, let me say this. When the economy crashes and things fall apart, they could start the roundup of people who are against the New World Order, of your Christians, of your patriots. They have the FEMA camps ready to go. They have now a police force. They're even letting foreigners in to police our cities, to work with our military. What's the purpose if they don't plan on having a global, and they're going to call it peacekeeping force? It's not peacekeeping force. It's a global takeover. 100%. And you know, here's the other thing. I just put out a report yesterday about we could see World War III breaking out at any moment with things that are happening with Russia and Syria. Could this whole thing be planned? Sure. But here's what I later discovered is the Pentagon is claiming that everything that happened from North Korea to 9/11 was World War III. Basically, your fight on ISIS and Al-Qaeda and Islamic terrorism, that was World War III. Okay, kind of missed that one. Never was it announced on any news or TV station that we were in the midst of it, but that's what they're calling World War III. And now they're saying we could be headed into World War IV. Where'd World War III go? I don't know. World War IV now. I guess that's the new dubbed name. And I beg the question, will it be a war with Russia, like I suggested maybe yesterday. It could be, it may or may not be, or a war not only with Russia, but with China. Could it be that? Or will it somehow ripple effect into a war against terrorists again, against cyber threats? How will it turn? If they're calling World War III all the terrorist attacks globally, here we are headed into World War IV. Will it be an actual world war? I'm not sure. Maybe. There's definitely cards in play with Russia right now that are not good. There's things Putin, Obama, and all of the like are doing right now that could lead us into World War IV now. But they also could switch it and say, okay, well, we're going to go after those who don't want to push the New World Order. Or maybe it'll be both. I don't know. Maybe it'll be neither. All I know is that biblically speaking, the Bible does say that in the latter days, Christians will be targeted and persecuted for his name's sake. That, I can assure you with 100% certainty, will happen. And it's coming, folks. And we need to be ready for that, spiritually, physically, and mentally. Keep in mind the UN takeover of America. It's not coming, it's here. Anyhow, I wanted to share all this information with you, and I don't always like sharing, the negative stuff. If it was good and beautiful stuff, I would share it. But my duty is to get as much information as I can about these topics and share that with you and say, look, this is the truth of what this says or what that says. This is how I read it. This is how I understand it. And then leave the information for you to decide and for you to go from there. But with the TPP, the Strong Cities Network, the Identity Operations for Strategic Land Power, the Internment and Resettlement, the Civilian Labor Force Document, the Right-Wing Extremist Document, Project Megiddo, Civil Disturbance Documents, Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, all of these I've read, all of which paint a picture of things to come. Anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest on what's going on, just so you're aware. This is Lisa Haven signing off.